Okay, this is the fourth card that we will be making, and we're going to be using this special die piece, this mirror paper. We're going to be learning how to blend here, and then this is what the inside card looks like. So in your packet, this is going to say number 4. These are the components. This is the mirror paper. You want to make sure you punch out all of these holes. You're going to have some foam pieces. You're going to have this kind of pinkish colored cardstock, which is the base of the card. You are going to have 2 pieces of white paper. One of them goes onto the inside of the card to mat, and the other is going to be the part that we're going to be blending to make the ocean background. Then you're going to have a variety of pieces. You're going to have an octopus that we're going to stamp. You're going to have a jellyfish, and then you're going to have 2 fishies. Okay, so let's put all of this aside and let's work on the blending technique first. For the blending, I am going to, you have like a blender brush that's like this, but it's black, but you can use any kind of blending brush. I like to use these kind of bristle blending brush because it just makes it more smoother. I am going to use Pacific Point blue ink for this. And what you're going to do is you're going to kind of do an ombre effect, okay? So I am going to leave this top part a little bit more light and then get darker as we go down. And I'm going to do it like about maybe 1/4 of the way and going down. And what you're going to do is you're going to tap, 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 okay? And then on your scratch paper, you just kind of go like this. Tap, tap, tap. Kind of get a feel for how much ink. Tap, tap, tap. To kind of get a feel of how much ink is on your brush and how much you want to put on. Tap, tap, tap. And then you want to start going here. And I like to start off the paper and then bring it in. Okay. And then you just kind of keep adding the color. And go darker and darker as you go. There's no right or wrong way of doing things. And you can even add like an ombre, you know, like, oh, you know, maybe I will do that for this one. You can even add different colors. Okay, so let's just say this is the blue that I like. I want to get it a little bit darker on the bottom. Oh, I'm sorry. When you're holding it, sometimes if you're holding it at the handle, you don't get that much control. So I like to hold like 2 fingers at the head and then hold it like this. So then there's more control. Okay. So I am going to add a little bit of orange on the top. We'll see how that looks. Ooh. This one is really dark. So just notice, like I always use scratch paper and I'm like, oh, this is kind of dark. So I don't want that much. So I'm just gonna, yeah. So I'm gonna start off here and then kind of bring it in. That's how mine looks. So it's a little bit of the orange and then the blue. And that's going to be my ocean. I am going to add that onto my card like this. Make sure when you're putting this on that the card opens left to right. And I'm going to add this one on. And make sure when you're putting this one on, you just put the glue on the outside edges, because what you're going to be doing is you're going to be tucking in the jellyfish and the octopus behind the coral. So make sure you punch out all of the bubbles and stuff, because it'll be hard to punch out the bubbles after you've glued it on. So punch it all out. What time is it? Okay. And I'm just using these tweezers to punch it out. You can use a pencil, and there's other tools that you can use, but just use what you have. So some of it, it's not going to be punched out. Some of it are just the vines of the coral. So I think that's pretty good. So clean this off. I like to clean my desk as I go, or else it's just like too messy, and then I get glue everywhere. Okay. Okay. Oh, and also these brushes, you can also use the squeegee and then just brush it off. And then you can just use it on scratch paper just to make sure all the ink is off. Just to kind of keep and maintain your just to like maintain your supplies. So this orange one is quite stubborn. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So clean as you go, because it'll just make things so much more fun when your stuff, oh gosh, oh no, you know what I did? I cleaned the blue first, and so now my chamois had the blue ink, so it got onto my orange brush. So darn, I have to go and fix that later. But anyways, sorry. Yeah, I should clean my cleaning supplies too. Okay. And this one just goes right on top of that blended paper. And I cut them to size, so it should be hidden. And you just kind of eyeball it. Oh, that looks really nice with the coral on the inside. I like it. Okay. Oops, I forgot to do one thing. We want to stamp our sentiment on the inside now. Okay, so I am going to use this one, which is the Oceans of Happiness. And I am going to stamp that in, what did I do? Oh, you know what? I did that in the green. So I think it's because maybe the blue didn't really show up on top of the ocean. So, okay. And I always like to practice, and I want to make sure that this is really inked up well so it can show up. Wishing you oceans of happiness. Perfect. Okay. All right. Okay. Now we're going to stamp our little these things, and remember, we're going to do the upside down technique. Okay, so I am just going to stamp the octopus in gray. So I'm going to ink this up. Actually, you know what? I had the gray with the coral, so I'll add that. So I already inked this up in gray. So I'm going to use this orange sponge dauber and just daub on top of the gray. So it's going to get a little bit contaminated, but that's okay. I'm just making it simple. So I'm going to put the tentacles and maybe a little bit around the head. And I'm just going to wing it this time. Okay, so I'm holding it on the left side and then balancing it on the head. And then I'm looking at this and this. I'm going to say here, here, here. And then I'm just going to push it down. And I'm going to hope for the best. Make sure you get all the pieces and don't move the paper. And then, okay. That's pretty good. Some of the tentacles are kind of off center, but that's okay. And then the jellyfish, I am going to just do this orange, the Calypso coral. I love this Calypso coral. It's so pretty. And this one is the jellyfish. I'm going to, remember, I'm holding it with my left hand, and then I'm just going to balance the head. And this one has tentacles, so this one is kind of tricky because the tentacles are, you kind of have to be precise on the tentacles. But if it's not precise, no big deal. Nobody will notice. And then I go like this. Yay. See, my tentacles are not perfect, but that's okay. And clean this one off. Okay. And I am going to do the fishies in Evening Evergreen, which is this color. Okay, where are my fish? Oh, here's my fish. Okay, so there's one fish going this way and another fish facing this way. So same thing, you use the fins and then you just kind of push down and peel it away. And then I'm just going to switch this block. Okay, and I am going to ink this up. Same thing, I'm going to hold it on the left side, balance it on the nose, push down, oops, go like this. Okay. Great. So remember in the beginning, you had some foam dots, I hope. Here they are, the foam dots, okay? And you are going to add one of the foam dots to the fish, to the back of the fish. Okay, like this. And then I'm just gonna do it here. And then another foam dot. Where's my other fish? Here. Another foam dot. You can paste them anywhere you want. I just did it this way. Okay, and I kind of tucked in the jellyfish there, so I put one behind the head. You only need to put one behind the head. Take off the thing, and then just kind of like eyeball where you want it. Make sure you don't cover up the sentiment. So I'm just gonna have it like this, and then put like one or two behind the octopus, like the octopus head, and maybe another one behind the body. Okay. Sticky. Okay, and then this, I'm just gonna have it kind of like behind the coral. Remember how I said only glue down the outside, so the coral should be free, and it's kind of like, just wedge it in there. And there you have your card. Oh, and then the inside, I'm sorry. So the inside, we're going to mount this, but I like to stamp something on the inside, so I'm going to stamp the jellyfish, and I'm going to do the two-step stamping because sometimes the coral is really bright, and for the inside of the card I just want it to be a little bit light, so I'm going to do the two-step stamping. So do it here, so I just do 1 and then 2, and so it's nice and subtle there, nice and light, and then just glue it in. And that's your card. I think yours might be green or it might be blue. I had different color mirrors, and then it's like this. Yay!